Hey, Keith here from Beat the Casino. Hey, I wanted to do a little experiment. And it came about by, and we've always talked about this at Beat the Casino. When we talk about, when people look at a Baccarat game, or experts, so to speak, they always talk about the long-term statistics of the game. So tell you what, let's take a look at the long-term statistics. I'm going to put in this bowl 1,000 player hands. Now they always, actually not a couple thousand, there's probably 100,000 grains of sand in there. I don't know. So each hand of that, each grain of sand represents one player hand, and I'll put about the same amount banker hands. That's pretty close, don't you think? Okay. Oh, someone said ties. Yeah, there's a couple ties. One in about every 11, right? There you go. There's your ties. Okay. So what experts do when they talk about the game is they take this and they say, well, over 1,000,000 hands, let's say, just for sake of argument, we have, I don't know how many grains of sands are in there, but quite a few. They say over the long term, they're all going to equalize. Well, sure, any system will equalize over long term, but let's pour them in a bowl here. I want to show you how we look at a game of Baccarat. Get that out of the shot. Then we'll take our banker hands and our ties and we'll put them in a beaker here, from my college days. And let's go ahead and mix them up. There's our red and blues and everything. Get them all randomized. And this is going to represent the sample that everyone talks about of 1,000,000 hands, okay? Suppose we sampled it, and we're going to dump it out. And there's our 1,000,000 hands of Baccarat, right? All in one big shot, okay? So each hand, each game is about 72 grains of sand, right? Okay, let me ask you something. Do you see any patterns in this? Okay, why? Well, one, the sample size is so big that everything is obscured, because any sample size that big, or any system that big where you go to do analysis, if you keep throwing more and more sample size at it, it's going to normalize and it will get the bell curve. Okay, but this isn't how we look at. We don't. When they talk about, we look at this at over 1,000,000 hands. Do you play Baccarat 1,000,000 hands every night? Do you go into the casino and play every hand at every table constantly? Well, of course not. You know, obviously. What do? How do we play Baccarat? We look at. We take hands of 72. We sit down and play it game by game. And I want to tell you the statistic. What this is called. If someone is doing some sort of process analysis of this sample to see if there's any variation or any trends they can find. Now listen, you can find variation in a system by assignable cause, which means there's a reason for it. Okay, there's some process flaw, or just by random chance it just happened to be occurring. Okay, in Baccarat, it doesn't make any difference whether you find it by random chance, or it happens, forgive me, it happens by random chance, or there's some technique that the casino isn't doing to randomize the cards that causes a process flaw and causes something odd to occur. It doesn't matter how you discover it. It's just, if you find it, you discovered it and you bet with it. Okay, but back to my point, we take out 72 hands at a time, don't we? We may take out this many hands, and then we take out this many hands, and we play it game by game. Okay, and we look at it game by game. So we take small sample sizes. We do what's called stratified sampling, and you can certainly Google stratified sampling. It's a scientific method used in statistics. So we don't play it 1,000,000 hands at a time. We play it about 72 hands at a time. I mean, sometimes we play that longer, sometimes we play more. Okay, so let me show you what 72 hands looks like. Okay, so let's say, for instance, we took a couple beads from that. Well, I'm just gonna grab some from each pile of beads. Okay, if I count them out, that's really just putting in the probability of a 50-50 chance. But that isn't what happens. You just go in, and when you sit down at a game, you just go, okay, I'm going to play this game, right? Oh, we need some ties in there. Let's say, for instance, we were walking along in a casino and we jump into this game, right? So I'm going to take these beads here. I'm going to mix them up, okay? Now, this is what a shoe is, right? You walked by, you said, okay, I'm going to sit down here, and I'm going to put these in here, and I'm going to mix them all up. Okay, so I just took a sample out of a casino. I said, I'm going to run in there. And then I'm going to shake them up. Mix them up. Now, do you see a pattern in that way? You can't really see it. Probably not, but that isn't what we're looking for. Here's how the game comes out, isn't it? This is what actually happens. Okay, so let's put it like we would play Baccarat. So there's our sample of 1,000,000 hands that we took, okay? Now, how did they come out? How did it get to that point? Okay, do we see anything? What can we learn from this? But this is how the game is played. It's played one hand at a time, okay? It's played in sample size, what we call a stratified sample. You're looking at one game where there's only a limited number of outcomes. You can have a banker win, you can have a player win, or you can have a tie. There's no other opportunities, okay? That's what has to happen in a valid stratified sample. Now, in this game, what would a professional see? Okay, obviously, there are a lot of repeats in this game, okay? There aren't a lot of one-in-a-rows, and there are a lot of repeats. And that would become evidence if you're doing some sort of count with opposites or repeats or anything along those lines, okay? And that's what we look at Beat the Casino. We're not looking at 1,000,000 hands. We're looking at it hand by hand. Now, what data do you use? That's what's important. What information do you use to determine what to bet next? When you look at the game, obviously, it's easy to say, well, you know, there's a couple longer runs in here and repeats are more prevalent. But at what point, when you're at this point, do you know what to do? Well, there's a lot of ways that system sellers talk about this. And, you know, sometimes you look at the time before last hand. Well, you know, does it really make any difference what won the time before last when you make a bet or opposite time before last? No, we look at the data at Beat the Casino that's important and has statistical significance of what to bet when we're at this point of the game that tells us that these repeats here are going to continue to occur. Okay, so just for argument's sake, I grabbed them because I know some purist is going to say, well, you didn't grab 50-50. Okay, well, let's see how many I grabbed here to pour out this sample. And I'm going to do it the other way then if I didn't do it exactly, okay? All right. So let's see how many beads I grabbed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 bankers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 players. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna put 5 more in here. Okay, and we'll throw in one more tie since we have a couple more hands. It should be about 111. I'm going to do it again for you. Now, we have the probability that each hand, banker or player, should come out equally. Oh, I'll tell you what, let's put one more banker in, just so we can get a slight edge to banker. We're not going to worry about the exact math of it. Oops. Okay. We're going to put them all in here, and we're going to see if we can get trend analysis before. So before, that might have been by assignable cause because I got a process floor. I'm just grabbing things and putting them in. Maybe I grabbed too many more. So is that really a random grab? Probably not, but that's certainly one of the things that can happen. I better mix these up a little bit more, before I put them in. Okay, so now let's put them in. Now that they're all mixed up really good. So now we have the probability that each one of these could come out about 50% of the time with a slight edge to banker Here's our Baccarat game, okay? When I grabbed an equal amount of bankers, players, well, one more banker than player, and threw in a couple ties. What do you see again? Well, here, obviously, you're seeing runs more repeats than opposites. You're seeing equal runs. I know a lot of players play like that. If there's a 5 in a row here, they'll bet a 5 in a row will come again, okay? If you see a 5 in a row in player, they'll bet a 5 in a row will happen again. Aren't those things that we look for in Baccarat? Okay. Now, when do you decide this happens is a key to playing Baccarat, okay? But you can see here that there's certainly, it's not your imagination that you're seeing patterns or you're seeing more repeats. I mean, obviously you're seeing more repeats. You're seeing a little bit longer runs between 2 and 5 long in this game. That has somewhat of a predictability based upon some sort of mechanical means that we put this system together, okay? In the casino, what do? Okay, they shuffle the cards, okay? Here, we grabbed things and shook them together. So we're trying to randomize things with mechanical means, okay, which actually will produce results like this. That's why we see this in Baccarat. The randomness is produced not by a random numbers generator, but by mechanical means, okay? So consequently, you're going to see patterns, and it's not your imagination. Your perception is not flawed, as they want you to believe, okay? What they want you to believe is that over time, it's all gonna even out. You know what? They're right. Over time, it will all even out. But each one of these hands, each one of these events, okay, has about a one, I don't know how many I have here. I think I put 20, 25 and 25, 1/50th of an effect on the whole game, on the whole analysis of the game. When you have a million hands, as I did with the sand, each one of them has 1/1,000,000th. So it's not going to be anywhere near as significant as if you have a repeat here, a repeat here, and a repeat here. Okay, so this is what we talk about at Beat the Casino. We don't sell a system, okay? We're not a bunch of system sellers. We talk about the analysis of a game from at the game level and at the casino level, what's going on in this casino, and how do you analyze what's going on in this game right now at this particular time so that you know what to bet. And what are the significant statistics that tell you what to bet next. I can tell you it's not the time that just won. It's not this pattern that won here and then because it happened here, it's going to come down here, okay? You need to get in our club, understand the game of Baccarat at the game level from professional players who know how to do it, and get involved with talking to us, okay? Okay, this is Keith from Beat the Casino. I hope you liked our little demonstration here. So we'll talk to you again soon.
Learn more about how to win consistently at Baccarat by using statistics by joining the Professionals Players Forum at beatthecasino.com. Act now. Don't make another bad bet. You can learn to win consistently for the price of one green chip bet. It's more fun when you win.